Brighton Beach Busking presents
Meg, yeah man, Timon, Alex, Ian, Paul. Welcome to
the Busking Break.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm doing well, man.
The show where we interview your favourite Brighton Beach Buskers, finding out the stories behind the musicians that sound our streets.
Had a bit of a day off today, so
This is probably quite the journey to become the musician you are today.
Make sure to subscribe and hit that notifications bell so you do not miss an episode. So come with us and be part of this journey.
Hello and welcome to the Busking Break here at the Works Pier. Today we spoke with Paul, aka Mr Bostin. He's a piano player, a guitar player, multi-instrumentalist. It was a great conversation, so I hope you enjoy. Paul, welcome to Busking Break.
hello.
Thank you for being here. How are you today?
Yeah, really good. Yeah, it's a bit of a day off today, so
Nice.
yeah, all good. Yeah,
Cool.
Yeah.
So, people on the channel might have seen you playing the piano, but you're also a guitar player, singer.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about how your journey as a musician. How have you got here? When did you start? How did you start?
If I ramble, just stop me, but I'll just go on and on.
Ramble away.
So I'm from Birmingham.
Okay.
I moved down to Brighton about 13 years ago. And in I didn't really have very supportive parents where they were, it was the classic, you've got to get a proper job sort of thing. So then my girlfriend at the time, she's like, well, my brother's at a uni in Brighton, it's called BIM. It's a good it's a good college, or college, not uni. We should look into it. And then I was like, okay, cool, we've got nothing going on in Birmingham. Okay, I'll go there and try. And then, moved down to Brighton, never looked back. At the time, I was a guitarist / drummer. I drum in a few bands, but then when I moved to Brighton, I was like, oh, I'll try and busk and see if I can. But I was really shy. I was really nervous. I wasn't nervous to perform. I was definitely nervous to busk.
Okay.
So what I did, I don't know why, but I would dress up as like a mummy / zombie character. So my girlfriend at the time, she made this big mummy costume.
All right.
And then every time I would busk, I would paint my face in a big white zombie mummy mummification thing. And then I'd go to if you're facing the pier, there's a little cafe on the right. I'd go just after that. I'd play there, and I would do maybe 6 different songs. I didn't make very much money, but the second I started to, anytime someone was taking a photo, wanted a picture with the kids or something, and I'd do something crazy, they would always donate. So then I started to be more of a character and get into it a bit more. Mm-hmm. I was literally doing the basic songs like The Coral, Lonely Room, Oasis, Wonderwall, the classic stereotypical songs. So then I started doing that, but then after about a year of doing that, I was like, oh, I'll try go into Brighton, and I started to do on New Road. And then I was like, oh, maybe I should drop the gimmicky costume. I felt more confident. So then I started doing that in Brighton, and then it was going so well, just me being myself. And then I started to, when you play the same song hundreds and hundreds of times, I get so bored of it, and then I'd just either sing about something that's happening in the crowd or mash 2 songs together. And then that's when I started to do real crazy medleys. One of the medleys I've got, there's about 30 songs in there, and it gets faster and faster and faster. So that's how I started in Brighton, and then I've always sort of dipped in and out of piano.
Okay.
And I've only just focused on busking on piano literally since last summer. So yeah, that's the origin story.
Wow.
I guess. Yeah.
That's insane. So you started on guitar?
Yeah, as a musician or as a
musician?
In general, the very first thing I started was piano.
Okay.
So my uncle, I used to stay at my nan's all the time, and my uncle lived there at the time, and when he'd go to work, I'd sneak into his room, and he had this cheesy 80s keyboard.
Nice.
So what I would do, I would press the demo, and it was one of those keyboards where you could play along with it, So that's how I learned music. I've never had a piano lesson. The only guitar lessons I've had have been when I moved to BIM, where you kind of force the guitar lesson. So I just learned by ear. And then I played a bit of piano up until I was 13, 14, and then there was one at school I would jam on. And then in terms of guitar, when I was 15, one of my classmates came into the music lesson and he was like, oh, I've learned a few chords, and this other guy was singing like Oasis. I was like, oh, I really want to do that. So then asked him if he wanted to be in a band, even though I never played guitar, but like I learned a few chords, and then because I played all the piano by ear, I just picked up the guitar. What I initially did was my stepdad tried to learn guitar and he didn't have the patience for it.
Okay.
So this guitar was just lying around. So because I had a bit of knowledge of listening to a piano, I tuned the guitar into like a chord where you don't press anything. It's like
like an open
E major,
chord.
like basically E major, and then I would do like Brimful of Asher, like 154, and then just literally one finger. So that's how I sort of learned the premise. And then when my mate, I saw him in school, I was like, wow, I was just totally wowed. He showed me how to tune it in and like a couple of chords, and then I just took it from there. And then a few years later, when I was about 17, a mate of mine wanted to form a band. We didn't have a drummer, so I was like, I'll give it a go. And then I learned drums, and did that for a few years. And then shortly after that, that's when I moved to Brighton. So I've done a few instruments over the years. Like one would take priority, and then a few years later, I've got to do that one now and stuff like that, so.
Wow.
Yes.
Like the journey of a multi-instrumentalist.
Yeah.
All these instruments come into you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
So you started busking when you moved here in Brighton.
Yes.
Why? Like, what was the reasoning? Or
I don't even think it was, I need to make money, because I had a job at the time. I just wanted to go out and play. And up in Birmingham, before I moved down, I didn't really know I didn't know about doing like function covers gigs. I had no idea that it existed. I mean, I'm sure I've seen it over the years, but so when I moved to Brighton, I was like, oh, I'll try and do some busking. It seems like a very liberal place. Like Birmingham, is like a bit of it's quite rough, so I'd never consider busking in Birmingham. Although now it'd be fine, like, but because it was Brighton, I was like, it was so liberal and like so much like sort of diversity. Like you can kind of do anything you want, really. So I thought I'd try it and see how it went. Also, I did a lot of drama in school, so I was used to performing. Like the performance aspect. And I did a couple of bands in Birmingham, original sort of stuff. But I tried it, and then I saw an advert for somebody was looking for a drummer that could also stilt walk. So I was like, all right, I'll try. I'll go for an audition. Like, funnily enough, it's the guy, I live with the guy now. This is like 13 years later. So I auditioned initially, I think, as a guitarist, and he's like, can you drum as well? I was like, oh yeah, I do drum. I forgot. So then I auditioned, did a bit of drums, and then he put me on drums. So I was in this stilt walking band. It was just blew my. I saw the video like on the Gumtree link, and I was like, that's crazy. Like, I've got to try it. And then I learned how to stilt walk, and then did that for a few years. And then he set up a band off stilts called the Iron Boot Scrapers. Then I did drums for them for a bit. I was drumming and / kazoo soloing.
Wow.
So I had like a harmonica stand with a kazoo on. And like, anytime there was a solo, I would just like sing the solo. And I had like a mic, so it picked it up really well. It sounded like a distorted guitar.
That's awesome.
And then that's how I sort of started down in Brighton. So I went to BIM. I didn't do that well in terms academically. Like I got onto like the BIM albums and stuff like that, and did like well on that side, but I was really bad with like writing essays and stuff. Anything like academic,
the actual academia part.
Zero. Like I just can't focus enough. So then I didn't pass the second year, but I was like, well, I got a job as a musician straight away. I was at the college to get a job as a musician. I'd already done it, so I didn't want to redo the year again. I was like, I can't really be bothered to like go through it all again. And also, it's very brown nosy at BIM. Like I'm exposing myself now. But, it's a really good college, but only if you're really good at schmoozing and speaking to the right people that have had like careers that are now tutors and stuff like that, and being like really like pally, and I was like, it cringes me out. I was just like, no man, I can't do that. Like when I'm not performing, I'm quite shy and reserved. I'm not very good at talking in like a big crowd of people and stuff like that. So I was always terrible at that sort of aspect of it. But if you're good at that, then you don't need to be that talented. You'll get somewhere. I forgot what question it was on, sorry.
No, just
rambling.
Perfect. Rambling is what we want.
Okay, good.
So you bust in Brighton. Have you bust elsewhere?
Yeah, I have. I've done a lot in London. Usually, if I've got a gig that's quite far. So last weekend, I was in Telford for some business convention. It was a stilt walking gig. And I was like, oh, I'll bring my busking stuff just if we've got a spare bit of time. And I was like, sweet. And then the guys I was playing with a guy who plays sousaphone.
Wow.
And one who played saxophone. So
Awesome.
and they joined me. They were like sweet. So there was like a little shopping centre, and we were thinking, oh, we're blatantly going to get moved on by security. It's like if we bust in Churchill Square.
Yeah.
No chance. You've got
Straight
less
in.
than 5 minutes, and then
Wow.
they just stop you. But no one stopped us. It was fine. It was great.
Nice.
So we did like an hour, made like probably like 60 quid. Didn't I? No, it was about
Nice.
45 minutes. So yeah, it went really well. I've done a lot in London. I've done a lot in Basingstoke. I gig like once a month in Basingstoke at a place called the T-Bar. And he found me busking in Brighton like probably about 10 years ago. He was like, oh, I've got a bar. He actually booked me for his wedding. So I played at his wedding, and then he was like, if you're free the next night, I've got a bar if you want to play there. And I was like, okay. And then literally every single month for 10 years he's booked me.
Wow.
So then yeah, it's only recently I've started busking in Basingstoke. It's one of the most strict towns to busk in.
Really?
The security are just straight on, yeah. It's so frustrating. Even though they've got no legal grounds to stop people from playing. Anywhere where there's a public access walk is completely legal. So the letter of the law, it's legal, but security firms will always try and stop you, always.
Get it out.
There was a video a few weeks ago that went viral. Someone was busking in Basingstoke, and the security guy literally picked up the guy's amp that was still plugged in, and he's just walking with it, and all the wires are bent. He's like, mate, you're breaking my stuff, you're breaking my stuff. They're that strict, they're really, really strict, but luckily I've got away with it a little bit. Like I played just on the outskirts of the entrance, where they've officially told me if you play beyond this line, you're completely fine. Okay, I'll do that. A few months later I did it. No, you can't play here, you're gonna have to call the police. Okay, call the police, I'll speak to the police, like as politely as I can. And they never called the police because they know that I'm acting within the law. So it's just a really frustrating time. And then I've tried to go down the legal route, emailing them, send them my public liability, like a risk assessment, and they just haven't responded. You know, where else have I played? Ever bust? Yeah, generally, if I've got a gig that's quite far, I'll try and bring my busking stuff. Usually on piano, just gives my voice a rest. If I've got like a guitar singing gig somewhere, I'll bring my piano. Like if I do Basingstoke, I'll do
change
piano.
it up. That's cool.
Yeah.
So on that note, when you've been busking, what's like one of the maybe craziest or wildest things that's happened? Maybe good or bad or both. I saw a video you did maybe last year with the police.
That was pretty intense. Yeah. Apart from that, what else? There's been so many like. Yeah, I've had like random like mental people come up and like push me and stuff like that.
Oh, right.
I've never had any physical altercation apart from that. I'll quickly explain the police situation. So when we was in the second lockdown, so they stopped all music in any inside venues. So I was like, okay, well you can do outside. And then they brought in the rule, you can't gather a crowd. I was like, okay, I'll stop every 3 songs whenever there seems to be somewhat of a crowd. So and then like we spoke to the musicians union, they said, yeah, it's still okay to bus. And also the rule was, Boris Johnson's rule was, if you cannot work from home, you can still go to work. As a busker, like, especially when it's wintertime, it's pretty, for me, it's pretty quiet. I'm not very good at admin and getting gigs, gigs, agencies, I'm terrible at it, I always have been. So I rely a lot on busking, and as you probably know, like if you busk, you'll get someone email you if you got your details out. Oh, can you play at my wedding next year? Or can you? Oh, I've got a bar, or this event. You know, always get that. Every time I busk on guitar and singing, I always get someone inquiring about can you play here or there. So I was like, okay, well I'll keep busking. It seems to be legal. And then I was out playing with my friends. That's when you couldn't even sit on a bench with one other person from another house. It was such a stupid rule. Man.
It got a bit wild.
So I was playing, and then at that point they had like COVID marshals up and down the beach. I don't know if he was in Brighton at that time.
I wasn't at the
so
time.
Cringy, man. It was like,
really?
What are you guys doing? So the COVID marshals would always try and stop it, but they have no power, so they can't actually. They can just interrupt you. Okay. I tried to be as polite as I could at first, but then every single time they walked past me, they were trying to stop us. Then the police came down, And then I was like, and it was a beautiful sunny day. It was December, but it was about 12 degrees. It was like everybody was down the beach. It was like a Saturday afternoon. And then, the police come, they were trying to stop us. I was like, I didn't want to be that performer that straight away, oh, you're going on live. But because of the situation, because we was in lockdown and I can't work from home, I have to. I just thought for my own safety and my own records, I'm going to film it all. And the second I started filming, we was having a dispute with the police. That's when the crowd gathered. Like, I didn't have that much of a big crowd. There might have been 20 people by the Upside Down House. It's such a vast open area. 20 people is not
it's quite usual.
There's so much space between people. And like I said, I was stopping every 2 or 3 songs. Just as I didn't even say, we have to stop because of COVID. I just said, we're going to take a break now. I didn't want to remind people are down the beach having a walk in the sunshine to forget about all the COVID rules, all the lockdowns. So I didn't want to. I just said, we're going to take a break now. So I was doing that anyway. But the police obviously just come, there's a busker, we better stop him. So then, the police come along. Was like, all right, I'll film it. Then the crowd gathers, and then I'm saying hold on, we didn't have this crowd before. Now there's a crowd. Now that you guys are trying to stop me from working, that's something that I can't do at home, something that I've been advised you can work. If you can't do it at home, I'm going within the laws, within the rules of this temporary corona rules. And they were having none of it, so it was about 10 minutes, and it was so then they eventually left. They're like, we're going to call our superior to come down. Okay, whatever. But then we did maybe 2 more songs, so you know what, I can't. It's triggered me, I can't, I'd rather just stop. I mean, I got a lot of Instagram followers from it, so that kind of helps.
Cool. It's always beneficial.
Yeah, exactly. It did help a bit. So I was like, well, if we didn't get enough money, at least we got one of those people might book me for a gig in a few years, whatever. So as we're packing away, then this big I don't know if you might have not seen. There was a kids program back in the 80s or 90s called Grotbags. And it's this big, fat witch. It's big, green witch with big, moles everywhere. Big, really horrible. She was literally looked like grotbags without the makeup. And she acted that like she was literally a witch. She was so horrible and so condescending. And so then I had the dispute. I was like, look, I'm packing away. And she's trying to get my details. I'm just like, no, I've done nothing wrong. I've acted well within the rule, whatever. I've already said. And she was trying to get my details. She wanted to give me some kind of fine, but I was like, no, you're not getting it. You're not getting it. And then a husband and wife came over, and they were like, no, this is the law. And then she was so condescending to them, and you're like, hold on, why are you speaking to somebody in that way? You don't have to be rude. Am I being rude to you? Are they being rude to you? No. Why are you speaking down to these people? And then it turns out the husband and wife that came over, I think their daughters, or one of their daughters, they're maybe 13, 14, that they busk up in London, and they've got a band called the Mocktails.
Oh, cool.
And they're so successful that because they're so young, but they're just savage. They're out every single weekend. I think they supported. I think it was Peak Doherty or the Libertines.
Oh, really?
They're getting
wow,
there, and that's awesome. Because of their parents. Their parents really push them. Really support them. But they were supporting me, so I really respect that. So awesome. If you watch them, Google the Mocktails. They're on Instagram. They always post on Instagram. They're really, really good for their age. They're really, really good. They do loads of mod sort of stuff and stuff. Cool. But they come up and stood up for us, and that's really cool. I really I always remember that. They were going to come down to Busk last year to do a little busking festival, but I was busy over the summer. Hopefully this year they'll come down.
Yeah, it's cool, the power of people. I think people do really because of what buskers bring to you know, especially down on the seafront.
And the fact that second lockdown was brutal for people, and the fact that, oh my god, there's music, oh wow, people absolutely loved it.
Brings people.
Yeah, they totally loved it. And even if a lot of people didn't have cash at the time, they didn't want to touch cash. Fair enough. It was nice to raise the spirit, even my own personal spirits. It was just nice to get out and do what I do. Do you know what I mean?
Cool.
So
on that note, what is music to you?
Oh, what a vague question.
Yeah, you can go as deep or you can be as literal as you want.
I mean, music is my life. I mean, to me, cliche. It's all I've done. It's all I have done. Like I said, I've never really had any lessons. I've never had piano lessons. Mainly because my parents never you're so you've got potential, like, you know, let's get you. I just had to do it off my own back,
Yeah.
which is fine. I'm glad that I did it that way. I can't read a note of music, I can't write music, and I'm happy about that. I'm glad that I feel like it's such an achievement that I've literally just done it myself. So for me, music it's all I've done. There's been so many times over the years where I've been so skint and I'm so close to looking for a job, and I'm like, now I've got too much pride, I've worked too hard, like I'm just gonna see it out, I'll be skint for a bit. It's really not that good if you're a parent. I've got a son, and it's been so demoralising not being able to like go out and do this, and oh, I can't do that, or I've got to go out and busk to earn enough for a train ticket to pick him up and stuff like that. But for me it's worth it. Like I always do. Like anytime I've got a kids party, I'm playing at a kids party, I'll bring him along, and he loves it. Like, you know, although to him it's so normal. It's just like the last kids party I did, he was sitting behind me. He just had headphones on that was linked to my phone, and he was just playing computer games on my phone, just like chilling. Just like. And then I was like, "Did you like the gig?" And like he was still listening. Oh, I like the Old MacDonald bit, like getting piggy with it. Oink, 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 oink. And this like reference, it's 5 years old. It started to like, oh, that's my favourite bit, or that bit, that
That's
bit.
awesome.
So music to me is literally everything.
That's
it's like
awesome.
Ride or die, totally ride or die.
That's really cool.
Obviously, like scientifically, there's, you know, like you can talk about the rhythm and the notes and stuff like that, you know, whatever. But yeah, that's music to me.
That's
I guess.
so cool.
Yeah.
What would you say to somebody who maybe is starting out on their musical journey, maybe a bit like yourself, it's not going to have lessons, they just want to go for it themselves, or maybe someone that's thinking about busking? What would your word of advice be?
I think over the years, one of the things that's helped me progress the most is patience. That is because people give up too easily, especially nowadays. People like, oh, I can't do it. Like someone I know, like I bought my son a Scale Electrics for Christmas, and I won't name the person, but I mean, this is an adult. Like they were like trying to work it, and it wasn't working, and they were like, oh, I can't do it. Like my son was acting more like responsible and care. I was so triggered that I've just bought him a Scale Electric. You're ruining his toy by slamming it on the floor. You need patience in life. You need to be patient with people. You need to be patient with your skill, with your talent, with your hobby, with everything in life. You have to have patience. If you don't have patience, nothing will work. So I'd say to anybody that is learning or starting out, if you're struggling, you literally consider it as, use it as like a meditation. If you're struggling with a part of a song or this or that, it's not going to happen overnight. Sometimes it takes years, let alone months. It will take years. Break little parts of songs down, literally break, right, I'm going to do this 3 seconds and I'm going to do it for an hour, and I'm not going to think about anything else. I'm going to loop this bit that I'm really struggling. Oh, it's going to sound bad. I know it sounds bad. I don't care. Be patient with it. And then in a few days' time, you keep that section going. You won't realise you're improving, because it's such tiny little incremental improvements that you won't realise until, oh, I recorded that a week ago. That sounds terrible. Oh, I didn't realise I've progressed. You need patience. That is the best rule that I've used myself. Patience. Treat it like a meditation. Zone into it. Totally zone in. Zone out of everything else in your life. You'll get into that alpha brain state so quickly, but you need to be like patient.
Yeah. There's do you know the author/illustrator Charles McKay? Does the pictures of the horses. His quote is, "Be patient, be humble." I think it's so good.
Of course,
that's kind of what you're saying as well. Oh, it's awesome. Do you think that Brighton and Hove Council could do anything to help busking, help the culture, help the scene?
Yeah, I think there's certain areas that would be so good to have music in, that just like, yeah, we don't have music here. Like particular Churchill Square. If someone can play, like, there's so many areas out of those little bollards, like so within those little bollards in the outside bit, where you could easily have a busker there, or you know, set up some scheme where, okay, we've got these buskers have been in Brighton for years, that people know them really well. Let's support them. Let's have them play there, whatever. Yeah, okay. Health risk assessment, public liability, get it all official and legit, so they've got peace of mind. Things like that, or sometimes in the lanes you get moved on, you'll get the security team and they'll move you on. Like yeah, if there's some official areas like that, if they could have some kind of scheme going with the buskers, that would really, really help. And it would make Churchill Square so much better, because there's only one place you can play at Churchill Square, which is right outside the Metro Bank. I'm surprised they don't complain, to be honest. Those windows must be so thick, like so soundproof. What else could the council do? They could have supported buskers throughout lockdown, especially the fact that they were stopping them. Definitely could have supported them. Generally, the council has a disconnect from any kind of arts or creative stuff. It's the richest council in Brighton as well. The amount of fines from tickets and from this and that they get off people, it's the richest council in Brighton. They should share that wealth amongst the people that are talented and work hard, but don't necessarily get the money or the funds to reap the rewards of that.
For sure.
So they 100% could do that. But yeah.
Cool. Promote whatever you need, your social
media.
media.
The only thing I really use at the moment is my Instagram. Although I go through lulls of not posting a single thing, and it's so sporadic. Sometimes it will be like I'll post loads of my son or a funny video of my son, and then it'll be me at a gig doing guitar singing, and then it'll be someone tagging me in busking. So on my stories will be the piano. So it's not very organised, but yeah, my Instagram is Mr Bostin, MR_BOSTIN.
Nice.
I generally use I'll have my Insta sign out.
Cool.
Yeah, so just that really. That's the only thing.
Spot on.
My address is no really.
My phone number.
Yeah.
Cool.
Star sign.
Spot on. Thanks, man.
Nice one. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you for watching the Busking Break here on the Brighton Beach Busking YouTube channel. If you haven't already, then please click subscribe, like this video, and hit the notifications bell so you know when videos have been posted. Go and check out our busking guest. All their links are in the description. I have been your host, August Radio Project. If you're a musician, creative, and you like challenges, or you need some tips and tricks, then go and check out my YouTube channel, also linked in the description. Thank you to Works for welcoming us to the Works Pier and believing in the project. If you're a creative looking for workspace in Brighton, contact Works through the details in the description. They offer co-working, craft space, sound studios, offices, meeting rooms, and more. Also, thank you to Mug Time for the wonderful mugs. You can find the link to their Amazon shop in the description below. And thank you to you for watching the Busking Break. And I'm sure I will see you in the next one. Thank you.